Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Friday on Main Street TV, where it is a foggy morning in southeastern Ohio, but hopefully it clears off and we get maybe a little bit of sunshine, hopefully. I'm hoping. We are here with Donnie from Willis Advantage Property Solutions. I know there were 4 words. And he is going to let us know about the services that his company offers to residences and businesses in our local area. And we will get to that right after a word from our sponsors.
At Vinton County National Bank, we believe in supporting the areas where we live and work. Now, we'd like to honor those who also serve our communities. Our new Community Champions account is especially for first responders, veterans, active military, and anyone employed in the fields of healthcare or education. This account offers rewards, discounts, and other benefits to those who give so much to others. Vinton County National Bank, rewarding those who serve.
Hey, Donnie, thank you for joining us today on Main Street TV.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for having me.
I cannot wait to hear about all of the stuff that your company provides to the local area. I know that you do some handyman services and some like contracting and cleanup services and stuff. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what's going on?
Well, we do a lot of, homeowner repairs. We do a lot of renovations. We do asphalt sealing, concrete sealing, We try to stay in the niche to where we're helping homeowners and property developers get jobs done that normally a lot of contractors can't find the time to do.
That's a very good point. So my husband and I moved here about 1.5 years ago. We've been renovating a house and finding contractors and handymen that are available and show up when they say they're going to show up,
absolutely.
or respond when you send them information, has been a challenge for us. So projects that we, in our minds, budgeted maybe 3 or 6 months for have now taken the full 18 months. So absolutely. I know that is a major struggle bus here in our area. I know this one firsthand.
Yeah, we find that a lot of people have struggled with, they need a kitchen remodeled or a bathroom remodeled or something as simple as just, their concrete walkways cracked, simple things like that. And they tend to, they reach out to everybody and they have a hard time getting a hold of people. And what it boils down to is you have a short amount of contractors out there that are not only, able to clear their schedule to do a job like that, but also have the ability to get it done in a timely manner because they're so booked up.
And of quality.
Yes.
And of quality,
absolutely.
because we've struggled with that one as well.
Absolutely.
Is finding people that are responsive and have the quality that we're looking for and follow through and finish the job. Because we've had several that were quality but then didn't finish the job. And then we'd have to hire somebody to come back in just to do the part, just to finish the job. So
absolutely.
Like I said, it's been a struggle. It's a continuing struggle in our house.
And that's one thing we've strived for is to, make sure the homeowners or property owners are at ease with the fact that they know when we start something, we're going to finish through with it. It's going to be done timely. It's going to be done right. And that if it's not, you know who to reach out to.
That would be awesome. Eric, if you're watching, I think we need to call him. So I know that we talked about like some concrete and asphalt repairs, and we have some photos of stuff that I sent over to Adrian that I saw. It looks beautiful anyway because it's sunny, and I haven't seen that view in a hot minute. And grass. There's grass. I have not seen my green grass in a while either.
It's coming. It's coming. I've seen a little bit higher hopes for the forecast coming in next week. But yeah, that job right there, that was a crack fill reseal of an existing asphalt driveway, which is one of our bigger things we do. That takes up a lot of our summer schedule. We hire a lot of, high school kids and stuff like that, in the area to help us out and do a lot of that work through the year. Of course, we team them up with somebody,
Yeah.
who is
probably-
older, more experienced.
Probably good experience
Yes.
moving forward. So.
Yeah, and that's what a lot of people don't understand with a job like that is, a few $1,000s on an asphalt driveway will save you tens of thousands of dollars in a period of time, just keeping up with it and keeping it, keeping the water from intrusion and causing the cracks.
Probably easier on your vehicle too, and your back.
Definitely
got
on your back.
Cracks going
Yes.
like this.
Yeah.
We all know before the roads get fixed, even in town, when you got the cracks and your back's like, yeah, we don't want to do that.
No.
So asphalt repairs, you talked about concrete repairs if you've got like cracks in your concrete, like walkways, which is a safety issue for people, especially if it's your walkway and you're older. You don't want cracks in your sidewalk because you're going to fall. So, I mean, seriously, you're much better off paying to repair the concrete than paying to repair yourself, which is going to cost you significantly more in both time and money.
And catching it when it's, a small issue is also a lot easier on your wallet than letting it grow to a much bigger issue.
Yeah, and I would assume getting like the snow and the water underneath
Snow,
the concrete.
water, salt. We know we've had a lot of salt this year, and it's hard on all those things. It's hard on your vehicles. It's hard on your driveway. It's hard on your sidewalks. It's hard on your house.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just, getting those things cleaned off and prepping and sealing, it really helps you get through that next winter season.
One of the things I saw on the website, because I did look on the website before you came in to get kind of an idea of what you guys do, there was a pipe, and it was like filled with like gunk.
Yes.
That one.
Yes.
I'm
yes.
like, ew.
Yes, that is actually a drain tile under a newly put in driveway. And that is our jetter service that it's showing. I actually had a video for that at one point, and I think I pulled it off the site. But what that is similar to it's similar to a pressure washer. It pushes compressed water into the drain, flushes them out, and actually leaves you with a true clean service, through the pipe versus having, debris and junks and stuff left over by pulling it out. They typically, that service would normally get done on, sewer drains, but it is very effective on cleaning any type of drain.
I've seen videos where like almost like a snake of stuff comes out at the end, and it's like, whoa, and you're thinking, oh my gosh, that's been living in my pipes. And I would think that it affects your the quality of your system if the water can't move through.
Does.
And you don't want stuff to back up, whether it's underneath your driveway or underneath your house or into your house. I mean, you obviously don't want stuff backing up out of a sewer pipe or out of a drainage pipe, because that's dirt and gunk and ick.
When you have any type of buildup in any type of drain pipe, you're just asking for continual clogs. And so to relieve a clog isn't always going to fix your problem. You really got to clean those lines and get all the debris out so you can have, continuous flow, and you're not continually having that same issue over and over and over again. I know a lot of people like to pour the Drano in the drain and just, okay, now it works and it's done. That does not fix the problem.
Well, especially, I mean, if it's a one-time thing and you pour it in and it solves the problem and you don't have that problem for, years, that's one situation. But if you are continually doing it, that's just putting a Band-Aid on a sore that's not healing. At that point, you have to see a doctor.
There's definitely an internal problem that needs to be taken care of, not just a one-time incident.
And it sounds like, I mean, in the stuff that we're talking about, if you catch these problems earlier on and you take care of them, whether it's the crack in your driveway or you're noticing that your sink or whatever is getting clogged up on a regular basis, if you take care of it at that point when you first notice it, it's probably significantly less expensive than if you wait until it backs up into your house and you have sewer goo coming up into your house. That's going to be a much more expensive repair.
Much more. It's much easier to be proactive than reactive.
And probably not just in money, but also in time. It probably is a lot less time that you're going to have them out there, in your space and fixing stuff. We all know having people working in your house and around your house can be cumbersome, with schedules and having people around and things like that. And so if you catch it earlier on, you're going to spend less time doing
Yes.
it too. You don't have to take off work and all of those kinds of things.
Yes.
So it's always being proactive. It's just like when we have Holzer in the house and they're telling us, get in for your routine exams and, let us check your blood pressure, because if you catch things earlier on, it's a lot less taxing on yourself, on your home, on your property, whatever it is. It's going to be a lot less taxing
Absolutely.
than if you wait for it to back up. We don't want to wait for it to back
No.
up. So don't wait for it to be a giant problem.
Normally, the messier it is, the more expensive it is.
Yeah, and the messier it is, the less likely you are to do it yourself. You're going to
Yep.
have to call somebody else in because you're going to look at it and go, yeah, I'm not tackling that.
Yeah.
I've had those moments too, where I'm like, oh yeah, we're calling somebody. I'm not tackling that one. And you do residences and businesses, correct?
Yes, we do. We do residential, commercial, industrial. Like I said, we have a wide range of services, and can kind of fill just about any niche to a certain level. And no matter if you're wanting to build a deck on your home, if you're just need some electrical outlets changed, or again you got that sink that's been a problem. Maybe you need a new trap put in. Then there's a lot of people out there that don't know how to do it, or just can't find somebody who will do it.
Okay, so I have a question for you. Okay, it's the first one. How many times do you get called out because it's a homeowner that started the project and then they either messed it up and you have to fix it, or they got halfway through and they got distracted and didn't finish the project? Because I don't know anybody like that.
A good bit. I would say that, and again, you mentioned before having a contractor in. Maybe they got the guy and they didn't know him, and they got partially through the project. They weren't happy, or the guy left, and going in and finishing that. That is normally worse than even the homeowner, because you don't know where their thought process was at when they were starting the fix.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, seriously, this has been my life for the last year and a half. I have so many half-done projects, either because we started them and got distracted, or somebody else started them and ghosted us, or a combination of the two. So they ghosted us, then we took over, and then we got distracted. I have a couple of those too. We have quite the honey-do list in our house, and some are.
Most people do.
I mean, and so if your honey-do list has become overwhelming, I mean, we're entering into spring, and this is when people start to notice, oh, you know what, I really want to fix this, or I really want to redo my bathroom for this year, or I want to get the deck built for summer. I mean, the snow is, we're on the tail end. We know that. We're expecting a little bit more, but we really are on the tail end. We're not looking at the heavy snow. And this is when people really start to look at, okay, I'm going to start my projects for 2026 now. I want something fresh and new. That's, kind of the spring outlook.
Yeah, and what I would always stress is when the weather starts to break and you start getting that, oh, I want to get this accomplished, I want to get that accomplished, reach out then. Get on a schedule, because we have such a push late in the fall of people wanting to get projects done, especially in asphalt, because they know, okay, the asphalt plant's closing, or the nighttime temps are getting too cold for sealers to dry and things like that. But they've waited and procrastinated throughout the year, and it just they can't get them done. So what I'd always say is, regardless of who you're using, get on a schedule early.
I would think also, remember that if you have the idea that it's spring and I'm going to start my projects that I want for summer, you have to remember that your neighbors and your community members, they're having that same thought process
Yes.
too. So the earlier I would think that you get on the schedule, the better it is for everybody involved, because if you're thinking about it, I can guarantee you somebody else in the area is also thinking about starting a project too.
Oh, and you'll always get your best price point the earlier in the year you get on that schedule.
There you go.
If you're waiting until everybody's so booked up and you've got a project that you have to get done, or you got an emergency situation you have to get done, those times of the year, things are going to cost you more.
Oh yeah, I mean, they always say
materials start to go up during that time because there's more materials being used.
Well, and they talk about don't wait until winter to decide that you need a new heater,
Yes.
because everybody who has a heater that's breaking is calling for emergency service, and so getting just a new heater because you want a new heater is probably not the best time. And same with an air conditioner. You don't wait to the middle of summer to decide to replace your air conditioning system.
Absolutely.
You do that earlier on when they're not already servicing a ton of other people in emergency situations. Otherwise, you're going to be at the bottom of the list because we have to deal with emergencies first, or people that have already called in. So, what other services do you do? I know I saw like grass mowing. I mean, it seemed like you guys do like a little bit of everything, honestly.
We do a little bit of everything. In the mowing, we typically stay with commercial buildings. Like we do a lot of work for Verizon stores with a property manager out of Texas. We do a lot of work for a few different property developments, some of the mini malls you have around here, you know, things of that nature. We do not do residential mowing.
Okay.
There are plenty of people out there.
There are
plenty of people out there to do residential mowing. We typically stay in the commercial realm when it comes to that. But we do, again, everything from I need deck boards replaced on my deck, I need my deck stained, I need a new deck built. We need, you know, we've currently that right there. That's a sign. That's right down the road here. Actually, it's on the industrial park and the new industrial road that was put in, street that was put in. So that was a small job there. Go out and build a sign. But you know, the same group of guys are going and framing up new walls in a house and putting a new room addition on.
There you go. Big jobs, little jobs. Yeah. I mean, all the jobs.
All the jobs. Yeah.
So I know you guys are based out of Wellston. What is your service area of how far you'll go?
We've done work from in Columbus to Cincinnati to, you know, it depends on the job. I would say our general service area is in probably a 5-county radius.
Okay.
We go into Portsmouth a good bit. You know, but we try to stay home as much as possible, just like everybody else. It's cheaper to stay home.
Once again, yeah, we want to support our local businesses and because these are our neighbors.
Oh, absolutely. We want to work with our residents too, and it's like I said, there's plenty of work. That is the one thing I would say that it goes back to, again, you know, get on those schedules early.
We all know, like I said, the honey-do list is like never ending. It seems like more stuff gets added onto it than comes off of it. I don't know, at least in my situation, it is.
Oh yes.
So, is there anything else you'd like to share with our viewers about your business? How can they contact you? What's the best way to contact you guys?
The best way to contact is to call, and please leave a message. We do have a website.
We'll put that in the comments. Adrian already did it.
We have Facebook, and our phone number is 740-577-4574. Always leave a message, because believe me, my phone rings constantly. That is my direct cell phone number.
There you go, if you need to reach Donnie.
Yeah, if you need to reach me, that is my phone number for everything. I tried the new AI, phone services for a while, but a lot of people will not talk to AI.
Yeah.
Just to try to clean up, a little bit of the messages I was getting last year. So I did away with that, and everything comes direct to me now. So that I would.
So you get personal service, somebody who's going to take ownership of your project and see it through, which, like I said, it is a struggle in this area. We all know. If you've ever had to build or fix something in the Jackson area, you know what I've been dealing with. And the quality people tend to have a longer wait. So it's awesome that they can reach out to your company and get, especially the smaller things that, get them ticked off of your list, instead of, just go, well, I'll just deal with it.
And it can be intimidating for people too. I mean, staring down the barrel, having to do, a project, and it's good to have someone that can be there for you and help you walk it through and explain to you what's going to go on or why something's happening. And that's something we kind of hang our hat on.
Well, one of the things that we even struggle with is that even the things that we can fix, a lot of times we have to go to Chillicothe or up to Columbus to go get the parts for, or we have to order them and wait. And so by the time we do that and then come home and fix it, we could have just called out a service that probably has the parts on hand or can get them quicker than we can, and has the knowledge to be able to fix it quicker than we can also, because we recently replaced our water heater.
Yes.
And it was funny because I said to my husband, I said, have you ever replaced a water heater before? He goes, yes. And I said, really? We've been married for almost 40 years. I said, I don't recall you ever replacing a water heater, because when we replaced our water heater at our old house, we went from a water heater to a tankless water heater. So we hired a plumber to come in and take care of all of it, because they had to do a bunch of stuff. So, and I said, I don't remember you ever replacing a water heater at any of our houses. He goes, well, I did it at my mom and dad's house, which means that he did it, like, I'm guessing, as a teenager, and which he's not anymore. And because, mind you, we've been married for almost 40 years.
Yeah.
And he goes, but it was gas. I don't think there's really a big difference between gas and electric. And I'm thinking, oh wow, this is going to be fun. and we got it done, and everything is working fine. But his thought process was, if I get too far into this, I will call somebody out and have them take over if I can't figure out what to do, which is why I asked you how many people start their projects. And we didn't have the luxury of getting distracted and not finishing the water heater project because we had no hot water. But so you kind of got that carrot of, I am going to fix this, or I'm going to fix this, or call somebody. But we ran into that problem where he kept needing additional parts in order to be able to replace the water heater. So we made like 3 or 4 trips up to Chillicothe to get the individual parts that we needed. And it's, once again, when you start factoring in your gas and your time to drive to Chillicothe or drive to Columbus, chances are it's probably ends up being close to the same price as just hiring somebody in the first place.
Or cheaper.
Or cheaper.
And you mentioned a good point there. There's a reason why they make TV shows called This Old House. Because people get into working on homes. They didn't build the home. The only person that really knows what's behind them walls are the people who build it.
Yeah.
So,
and it doesn't even have to be an old house.
No.
Our house here in Jackson was built in like the late 80s, and we open walls and go, oh my gosh.
Yep.
And my husband's in construction, and he looks at things and goes, oh my gosh.
Yep.
And so it's like, So I can only imagine the houses, like you go into a house that's from like the early 1900s, and you're probably like even more.
You open up a wall, you find framing, different things that need to be fixed, and it's always good to have somebody on the job that can look and make something work and fix it where something apparently didn't work in the past.
Because they were very creative in the early 1900s on how they constructed homes, the way they did wiring, the way they did plumbing, framing. Yeah. The heights of walls, everything. You just never know until you rip the drywall off. Yeah.
And nails were cheap back then. So there's plenty of nails in there.
But yeah, I mean, it's if you're living in an older house, then you know what we're talking about. And in this area, for the most part, you're living in an older house. Because even when I say our house was built in the 80s, and that doesn't seem that long ago, but the 80s were like 40 years ago. That's a 40-year-old house. That is an older house when you start thinking about it. And things start going wrong on houses that are 40 years old. So... Absolutely. Yeah. And construction has changed. I know this for a fact. Construction has changed significantly in the last 40 years.
Materials have changed. And
technology, just everything.
Yes.
Availability of supplies. It's not all about, nails are cheap, because nails are not cheap. And you need to remember that too. A lot of people get sticker shock. I know that I get sticker shock when we have somebody out who's quoting something, and I have to remind myself that prices have gone up on everything, especially on lumber. I don't know if, I'm sure that you've experienced this as well, but the cost of lumber over the last 5 years has really skyrocketed, and you need to remember that all gets rolled in because the cost of supplies is one of the largest parts. You got your supplies, you got labor. That's the only two things you got going on. Yep. And if you've gone to go buy a 2x4 at Lowe's, you know what I'm talking about. The cost of lumber has significantly gone up. We saw that in plywood. Oh, yes. Yeah.
Yeah, OSB and, plywood, Vantech. I mean, all those items have skyrocketed price.
Yeah. Well, that brings up a good point, too. If you're working on a larger project and you don't have a way to get the stuff home, I mean, it's very difficult to get a sheet of plywood home unless you've got a truck. So if you've got a car or an SUV, you're not bringing home a 4x8 sheet of plywood. So you've got delivery issues. I mean, you've got all sorts of other stuff. So when you tag in all of those things as a homeowner, seriously, you're better off calling a professional who's going to get it done faster. And like you said, chances are cheaper when you take into account all of the time and effort that you're putting into it. So
Absolutely, especially if you get so far and then you hit a spot where you can't get any farther, and then someone has to come back in behind you and undo what you did.
there's only so far a YouTube video will get you.
Yes.
In some situations. So yeah, I have those situations.
Yeah.
So.
Hey, a lot of people do.
I figure I'm not the only one. I know I'm not the only one. We all have good intentions of what we think we can get done, and yeah, we're like, oh yeah, that's a weekend project, and we're still working on it like 6 months later.
Yeah.
Because gosh, you know what? Let's go to lunch. Or here's what happens to us. Okay, and that is we have to go up to Chillicothe to go get parts. Okay, that ends up being an all-day project. So it's not just, I'm going to run to the hardware store and pick up this little piece that I need that I can't get locally at one of the local hardware stores, because we always start there first. But going up to Chillicothe becomes an all-day project because, okay, if we're in Chillicothe, we might as well go to Sam's Club. And while we're up here, we might as well go to Aldi. And, okay, we're going to...
Let's go eat lunch or dinner.
We're going to stop and we're going to eat lunch. And then we're going to gas up and all these things. And before you know it, that hour and a half that you budgeted to run up to Chillicothe, get the part you need, and come back, which should only take you an hour and a half, has suddenly taken you all day.
Yes.
And you get home, and the last thing you want to do then is work on the project. And so that becomes the second day of working on the project. At least that's what we're experiencing. And that's why projects take so long. And when we've been able to get contractors out to do stuff, we know things go a lot faster because they have a lot of the parts in stock or on hand, or have a better idea of how they can make things work, as opposed to the one way that we saw on YouTube. So
Yep.
yeah. So great resource for homeowners, especially if you're an older adult or you honestly, you don't know what you're doing and you're watching it on YouTube. There's some things you really shouldn't tackle. Like electricity kind of freaks me out a little bit, and plumbing. For me, it's electricity and plumbing. It's like, those are two things you really don't want to mess up in your house. If your drywall looks a little crummy, you can put a picture over it. But if your electricity is wired wrong, you're going to end up on the Telegram News.
Yeah.
And we don't want that to happen. So
You're either not going to have electricity or you're going to have a fire.
yeah,
One of the two things.
We don't want that to happen. So especially big things like plumbing and electricity, asphalt, that's a hard one to take on yourself, roofing, decking, things like that are larger projects. Keep in mind that there are certain things that are safety issues that you may not want to trust to YouTube you. Yep. And trust a professional. Yeah. For us especially.
Absolutely.
For us especially. It's electrical and plumbing. We're just like, yeah, we'll take a look at it, but if it looks like it's something that could come back to haunt us in a couple of years, we are calling a professional. So good to know. I am so excited because, like I said, we have really struggled, and now I have a resource. I'm pretty excited about this one. So maybe I can finally get those honeydews off the list, and we won't spend our entire summer ticking them off, and we can actually enjoy our house.
Enjoy your property.
Yeah, I'd rather have somebody else do it. I mean, not that I'm lazy, but yeah. But I'd rather have somebody else do it because, once again, then I can enjoy our house instead of just always thinking, oh my gosh, I've got to fix this, and really hating being there. I can actually get those things done. So I am pretty excited. I know whose business card I am taking home. Yep. So thank you for joining us, Donnie.
Thank you for having me.
You are welcome anytime. Come in and share some tips for homeowners on how they can keep their properties up, and any services that you add or anything you'd like to share with us.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us. We will be right back after a word from our sponsors.
From breaking news to heartwarming stories, the Telegram is your ticket to the latest buzz in town.
Read your daily dose of local headlines, sports, and entertainment and more, in hand and on paper.
Get a print and digital subscription for only $7.95 per month. Delivered fresh every Wednesday and Saturday.
Visit thetelegramnews.com or call 740-286-3023 today.
Don't just read the news, be a part of it.
Sunday, a couple of days ago, Mr. Sheryl and I went up to Newark, Ohio, to the Maple Syrup Festival at the Dawes Arboretum, and we got to explore the Arboretum a little bit and learn a lot about maple syrup, and it was a really fun place to be, and Adrian helped me, and we put together a little video to share with you. So take a look.
Hey guys! I have taken Main Street TV on the road, and today we are at the Dawes Arboretum in Newark, Ohio, which is just east of Columbus. It took us about an hour and 45 minutes to get here from Jackson, and today is their maple syrup day, and we are learning all about maple syrup tapping and production and what it takes to put maple syrup out onto the shelves, including the giant boiling kettle of maple syrup. Come with us and let's see what we learn.
Have been doing, like I mentioned, a maple syrup event out here for 60 years. It's our 60th anniversary. We started back in 1966, and this was the leading event for the Dawes Arboretum at the time. It is a time to celebrate. The history of us having this event for 60 years is no small feat. There are staff that are completely dedicated to educating the public about maple syrup. Why do we do it? What is the science that involved, the history, as well as the origin of the food. Most people I don't even think understand the process of getting sap into syrup, and that's what you're going to learn. You're going to learn all that today. We're excited to teach you. This is Nancy Gregory. Nancy has been here for, is it 15 years? 16? 17 years. Sorry,
Sorry, the first two were blurred.
Nancy is the best at leading the trail, so she is going to start, and I'm just going to fill in as needed. And I didn't even introduce myself. Maybe Kristen told you. My name's Leslie Wagner. I'm the historian here at the Dawes Arboretum. I've been here now. Next week it'll be 13 years. Ready to get going?
We are not. And I'll tell you why. So I'm going to give a tour for those who are here with the media. If you're here just the general public, you get your own special tour. So if you're not here with the media, if you'll just scooch over here with Lisa. There we go. We'll scooch over now. Here. Yeah. We are one group. We are a group. Folks, so welcome. My name is Nancy Gregory, and like Leslie said, I work here at the Arboretum in the Learning and Engagement Department. So that is the former Education Department. So here we are doing our signature thing is sharing maple syruping. We're going to take a tour that goes from the past all the way up to the present. And at the end, you'll be able to have a sip of some maple syrup that's from Central Ohio. And then also down near the cabin where we'll end up, there are some other activities that you can learn about, our trees and other kinds of syruping that goes on in the United States. All right, so let's head down to the first side.
This time of year, all the trees look very similar.
Right. Well, it's the bark that they're looking at mostly. Our trees around here are pretty old, so it's a little tricky to look at the bud formation and that type of thing, but that's another way to identify trees in the winter. Of course, if you were a homeowner, you have a sugar maple. Out here we have arborists and our whole staff that are
So which are any of these trees?
There was one here. That big tree right there is a red maple, so that's kind of similar. The old one behind these little trees. There's a sugar maple down the trail. We'll take a look at those too. So like we said, it all starts with the sap and how to stop when it starts to see a little bit of bud on a tree or the days go on, because those trees are going to need that reserve sugar, what's left in there, to get to kickstart into spring. Okay, let's head. I'm going to hit this flat bit right here.
That's Betsy.
So try not to hit that bit. That's where the sap would come out into the bucket. You want to hit that bit right there. Yeah. So this is just a log that we found.
Oh yeah. Because it like it sat there for like 3 hours. Yeah. Of just like this. Please come in.
She goes. So it's clear, not like maple syrup. It looks like water, honestly. Doesn't have really a smell either. Just tastes like water, honestly, like clean water.
A little bit of the sweetness, of, even maybe as an aftertaste, but yeah, it's pretty much just tastes like water.
Like very clean water.
Yeah, yeah. Trees are a great filter.
Very clean water.
Very clean water.
What makes this one different from the one on the other side?
This is actually made from the bark of a tree, a shagbark hickory. So this one, they roast that bark, give it a little smokiness, and they have to boil that down and add sugar into it, and that's how you get it.
So this is the hickory syrup. This is a different flavor. It's a little bit sugary sweet as opposed to like mapley sweet. And a little bit on that smoky flavor. I can see that how it would be a good for a savory.
You still pour it on the Yellowstone, right? I think that came up.
Yeah, I'm sure it did.
We're on the Auto Loop Trail. We might be a little bit lost, I'm not sure. But we followed a sign that said to get to the Japanese garden. But one thing I did notice, that off of all of these little paths, there's lots of picnic areas. So this would be a really nice place to like bring your lunch and explore, and then have a seat and enjoy your lunch and then go back to exploring. Fun stuff. It said Dawes lettering, hedge lettering, and I couldn't figure out what it was. These giant bush mounds all around here spell out Dawes Arboretum. It just keeps going and going and going. They're giant, like massive. But the only way you'd be able to read them is like if you were in a plane or you were a drone or something. So we got to the top of this hill where it's supposed to say Dawes Arboretum. And I'm like, wait, well, you couldn't even see it unless you were in a plane. And then Eric points out, there's an observation tower. So we stop. Can we go up in the observation tower? Of course not. Yet another reason why we need to come back to the Dawes Arboretum. So it was a fun day at the Dawes Arboretum. You can see it's still snowing on us. It's been snowing on us the whole time, but it made for a fun wintry excursion up in Newark, Ohio. Can't wait to come back. I have a feeling this place is amazing during the spring and a totally different look during the summer and even into the fall. So Dawes Arboretum, 2 thumbs up, Newark, Ohio. So as you can see, we had a lot of fun. It was snowing the entire time that we were there, and Mr. Sheryl found himself around the kettle of maple syrup for pretty much the entire time. But the maple syrup trail is available all the time, the signposts and all of the displays, some of which we showed in the video, to tell you about the maple syrup production, of how they tap the trees. So the water that I was drinking is what actually comes out of the trees, and then it's boiled down in a kettle for hours or days until it turns into actual maple syrup. I had no idea. Because I figured it came out kind of, I don't know, maple-y looking. I don't know. But because I didn't know anything about maple syrup before I got there. And so it was really interesting. It talked a lot about like the Native Americans and how they would tap the trees and their respect for the trees, and how maple syrup production advanced into like the 60s and 70s and beyond. It was very interesting. The Dawes Arboretum is absolutely huge. It was like, I don't know, 200 acres or something like that. And you could drive through the whole thing. You saw that we kind of got lost on one of the trails, but you can drive to different areas of the Arboretum. And then the hedge lettering was amazing, the idea, and I was so excited to be able to go up in the observation deck, but I think it was closed because of icy steps. So we'll have to go back during the spring so that we can see the letters from up above. So that's pretty exciting as well. Now they do have an event coming up, and there is not a date for it because they don't know when the animals will be ready, but they do a salamander event, and they have to wait till the salamanders are ready, and then they announce it on their Facebook and on their website and stuff. And I talked to a guy about the salamander event.
Okay, I know nothing about salamanders. If I come back for the salamander event, what kinds of things will I see?
So you're going to see our mole salamanders waking up in the forest, and they're going to be crawling out at night into our bald cypress swamp, where they're going to mate and lay eggs, and then they crawl back into the woods. They spend most of their time, even though they're amphibian, they spend most of their time in the woods. And then this time of year, they're buried deep in hibernation. So they need that soil to warm up, water to warm up a little bit, so that they are starting to come out of the ground, go through their mating process, and then come back into the woods for the remainder of the year.
Is there a specific type of salamander that is native to this area that you're looking for?
Yeah, we have the Johnson salamander. We've got mole salamanders. We've got the spotted salamander. There's a third. I'm the plant guy, so you're asking possibly the wrong question. But we have 3 of the 4 or 5 native salamanders on site here. And you'll be able to see all 3 that night.
Okay, and it is a night program.
It is a night
you
program.
come and watch them at night, like Runyon.
The salamanders don't migrate during the day; they migrate at night. So it's safer for them to migrate at night for predators and all that kind of stuff. So they do it at night. So our program will probably be 8 o'clock at night. In the dark, you get a red light. You go out on the boardwalk into the swamp, and you get to shine your lights down into the water, and you see all of the salamanders moving around, mating and everything in the water.
Gosh, this is just sounding better and better by the minute, isn't it? Okay. Well, chances are we'll be back for that event too.
I'm glad to hear it.
So a lot of fun. The salamanders sounds really interesting. I'm not sure that I want hundreds of little amphibians running across my feet or anything, but it does sound interesting, so we might go back up there. I'm watching for it. But it is a short notice type of event because they're watching for the salamanders to be ready to go on their mission, and they will post it on their Facebook page. And we will put all of the information in the comments. I highly recommend visiting the Dawes Arboretum. It was a lot of fun. I can't wait to go back in either the spring or in the fall. I think it's going to be absolutely gorgeous once everything is, all the trees are blooming and everything is green and back to beautiful Ohio. So Dawes Arboretum in Newark. Hey, Pete.
Hi there. How we doing?
Pete's wearing his red shirt, and we always know what Red Shirt Day is. That means the Ironmen are playing.
They are playing tonight, absolutely. First time in about 5 or 6 years that they've been to the Combo. And the Ohio University Convocation Center in Athens, nearby Athens, just about 45 minutes from Jackson. That'll be the venue for tonight's big game between the Ironmen and the Chillicothe Cavaliers. 8 o'clock tip-off time there at OU. And, of course, it is a huge place, and it's exciting to get to the district tournament this part of the district tournament because it means, you've won a game or two and, the excitement builds, of course, but it's just, it's a major college venue. And suddenly when you're used to playing in front of, 2,000 or 3,000 people, and then, you're in a place that holds 13,000, it makes a big difference.
Crazy, huh?
There is a look at it there. Of course, it is the home of the Ohio University Bobcats. And Southeastern Ohio district teams, including Jackson and Wellston, who get the opportunity to play there in the near future, that is what they play for. They play for not only to win in the tournament, but to play in a place like this. It's just, it just means something to the kids and the coaches and the fans and so forth. So tonight's game, Jackson versus Chillicothe, 8 o'clock at the Convo. It is the second game in that bracket. Marietta and Miami Trace will play the first game at 6:15, I think it is, and then Jackson and Chillicothe at 8 p.m. And there are, of course, our Jackson Ironmen 20-3 on the season, one of the best records in Jackson high school history. As a matter of fact, if they are able to beat Chillicothe, and that's a big if because Chillicothe's pretty good, that will be their 21st victory of the season, and a Jackson team, boys team, has never won 21 games. They've won 20 games, 2 other teams and this team, but no team has won 21. So that's another thing to shoot for. If the Ironmen would win the game, they would play, I believe, the following Wednesday, and they would play the winner of the Steubenville-Dover game, and that is out of the Eastern District in Ohio, and they will play at a different venue, I believe, also this evening. So we don't want to get the cart before the horse because the Ironmen have to beat the Cavaliers, and here's how that's gone, Sheryl. Chillicothe came to Jackson a slight underdog and beat the Ironmen on their own court. A couple weeks later, Jackson went to Chillicothe and returned the favor, beat them on their court. Both games were very close, and so it
should be a good game.
It should be very, very exciting. Once again, 8 p.m. on WKOV 96.7 FM. I believe we'll be coming on the air at least 20 minutes before then with the Coach Max Morrow show and some other pregame information. There is Coach Max Morrow, who, of course, is now the winningest coach in Jackson high school history. He surpassed the all-time mark of 163 wins with his 164th win, by the way, at Chillicothe.
There you go.
How's that for a coincidence? So Max and everybody, of course, very excited about that game. We're also going to be able to stream it. The Total Media team will be there to stream. We do have some restricted rules, however. It will be streamed, but it won't be live, but we'll be able to post it immediately after. And so all those fans that are going to go over there, if they want to relive it, particularly if the Ironmen are successful, they will be able to do that. And of course, it'll be posted for quite a while there on the Total Media Sports YouTube channel. We understand our Total Media team has actually arranged it to do every game at the Convo.
Yes.
Not just the teams that we follow, but all the teams from Southeastern Ohio that we are familiar with. And, the basketball junkies will love that. And so we're excited for that to happen as well.
And you can find that on YouTube, and it's TM Sports OH on YouTube, or look up Total Media Sports. But it's TM OH. We'll put that in the comments as well, Adrian.
All right. Well, thank you very much. And speaking of the Rockets, they will play on Monday, and they are truly excited because their team, a boys basketball team, has not been to the Convo since 2002, 2003. That's another
time.
Generation.
That's 23 years.
That is a long time, and this team was expected to be better this year, but they surprised a lot of people. They're 18-4. They were co-champs of the Tri-Valley Conference Ohio Division. They tied with Meigs, who was last year's champion alone, so that was a big achievement for them. But their game, Sheryl, is going to be Monday, 6:15 p.m., it's Division 5. Jackson is Division 3. Division 5, and they will have to take on the top-seeded team, the top-ranked team in all of Division 5 in Southeast Ohio, the Chesapeake Panthers.
Okay.
But the Rockets have been up to almost every challenge that they faced this year, so that'll be exciting. That's 6:15 p.m. on Monday. That'll be on WYPC 1330 AM on our FM companion station, 105.3 FM. Also, the same deal on the Total Media Sports streaming, posted right after the game. Now, some pregame information that we want to tell you about. Of course, they're excited about playing at the Convo too. But the last coach to take them there, all those years ago, was the late Jim Darrow. Jim Darrow, there he is, was the winningest coach in Wellston high school history, 288 wins.
Impressive.
Exactly. And his teams, he was actually the coach at the time of his untimely passing in 2011, only 52 years old. And his family, who is very so well known in Wellston, his younger brother, John Darrow, operates an insurance agency there. His mom still lives over there. His father, the late John Darrow, Sr., was a coach for many years at Wellston before Jim was. But anyway, the Darrow family has stepped up, and there's going to be a pep bus to take the kids over there. I think that was already arranged, but the Darrow family is purchasing all the tickets.
Awesome.
There's a certain number, a limit, and maybe they've already signed up for all of them, but a certain number of tickets are going to be available free, so that they don't have to worry about getting the tickets online, paying for them, or whatever. And that's going to, they're supposed to sign up. They could sign up yesterday and today as long as those tickets last. And we wanted to acknowledge that. But they're
Thank you, Darrow family.
They're also going to feed the kids at the high school before.
Awesome.
And they are inviting everybody. It's the first game on Thursday, so they will leave about 4:45 from the high school, and they're inviting other fans to follow the pep bus over there, kind of like a caravan deal. So very excited for Wellston as well. And so we'll
Fill those stands and cheer the Golden Rockets on.
Right.
It's been 23 years since they've been there. So.
Right. I tell you, and everybody, I tell you what, schools and sports teams bring communities together, particularly, in the smaller rural communities. So the schools are the heart of the community. So we're so glad to see all this excitement for both Jackson and Wellston. Okay, we'll turn to politics a little bit. We have a primary election coming up on May the 5th. And for the first time in a number of years, we're going to have a contested state representative race here. The 93rd District covers Jackson County, Gallia County, and Lawrence County. The incumbent is running for his fourth term, Jason Stevens. He is being opposed in the Republican primary by Larry Kidd. I think Larry's been here on Main Street TV.
He was in.
Right. The Democrat that's running this year, and they haven't had a Democrat run in this district for a couple terms at least, is a very well-known person here in Jackson County, and that is Jessica Huntley Harper. There is Jessica. She is a teacher, a social studies teacher at Jackson High School. She is the president of the Jackson City Education Association, which is the teachers union here in our school district. And I think she's always been interested in politics, but she got really interested this time and is really putting herself out there as a candidate. And she is concerned most about state school funding. That's been a big topic, a very controversial topic, because the funding has not been what the school folks think it ought to be from the state legislature and the governor. And so she's been very outspoken and been an advocate for more state funding, and she feels like she needs to step out and be a candidate.
I think the three biggest issues that we're going to see from those candidates and listen for are going to be healthcare, the economy, so business livelihood, and education, especially here in Ohio.
Right. Yeah, education is definitely an issue here in Ohio on the public school funding side. Because it wasn't as great, it wasn't as much of an allocation as was expected. And so that is not Jessica's only issue, because she feels that state government should be more responsive, particularly to this area. But definitely the state school funding situation has prompted her candidacy. We're going to have profiles of each of those three candidates that are running for state representative, and the profile for Jessica will be going in Saturday's paper. So it was timely to bring that up. But we always want to do the best we can here at Total Media and the Telegram to inform voters, potential voters, about all the candidates. And then so you're informed, so that when you go to the ballot box, and if you go to the ballot box, you know a little bit more than what might be printed on a campaign
Well, it's
sign.
always nice to have a choice. So
Absolutely.
to have more than one
always is.
person that's just running over and over and over again, that that Larry Kidd and that Jessica have thrown their hats into the ring, because it makes everybody talk and really come out with what their position is and what their hopes for our area are.
Competition, whether it's business, politics, whatever, it always makes you better, makes you stronger, because you know there's a competition involved for whatever you're doing in there. But Jessica, by the way, is unopposed in the Democratic primary, so she doesn't have to worry about getting nominated the May 5th primary. In November, she will take on the winner of the Stevens Kidd Republican race, but there could be independent candidates file as well. That deadline is the day before the primary.
Oh, okay.
You wouldn't expect that quite as much in a district race, but it is certainly possible.
So if the deadline for independent candidates is the day before the primary, does that mean that they then show up on the final ballot as options?
Yes, they show up then on the general election
Okay.
ballot. And that used to be a pretty infrequent, rare thing, but you see it more and more, because what it is you skip the primary. And if you have a contested primary, you could lose there, and then you don't have a chance to get elected in the general election in November.
There you
And
go.
so it's just all whether you think the party label is important to you or for support.
Okay.
In the local thing, even though you count the number of Democrats and the number of Republicans, a lot of times it's who you know. People know people a little bit better at the county and municipal level, and maybe that's the way they'll vote as opposed to party. But anyway, moving on, there's some things going on this weekend that we want to tell you about, some of which you may already know about. We want to remind you because it's this weekend. Today, actually, I haven't had a chance to say this. I should have said this yesterday, but this is something a little different, and they let us know about it. A lot of people are intrigued by sign language, but of course don't know anything about it. They are having a sign language class at the Senior Citizen Center. It's just not for senior citizens, it just happens to be there. They had one class earlier, and they're having it again. I don't know whether it's like a follow-up class or it's the same thing, but if you're interested, it is open to the public today, 12:15 p.m. till 1 p.m. Debbie Searles will be doing it. Once again, this is open to all the public, not just the seniors. The Jackson Senior Citizen Center is located at 25 East Mound Street in Jackson. Okay, also the Vinton County Sharp Spurs. That is a chapter of the Wild Turkey Federation. Now, they like to hunt wild turkeys, but a lot of these wildlife groups are also interested in overall conservation.
Oh, yeah.
And also the outdoors. And they are going to have a banquet this Saturday at the Vinton County Fairgrounds. Doors will open at 4:30. There'll be a dinner that's involved at 6 p.m. There'll be raffles and giveaways, and all the money that they gain will go towards supporting wildlife conservation efforts. All ages are welcome to attend. You don't have to be a chapter member to go. Tickets can be purchased through local chapters. You can go on the link on the National Wild Turkey Federation and look for the link for the Vinton County Sharp Spurs and sign up that way. Tickets will also be available at the door. Once again, that's Saturday, 4:30 p.m. To 4:30 p.m. to in the evening. The dinner is at 6, and then a program after at the Vinton County Fairgrounds. The Big Red Diamond Club. We had Miss Smith here the other day for the Wellston Recreation Program. The Big Red Diamond Club is a support group that takes care of the baseball and softball and t-ball in Jackson. They do it in affiliation and cooperation and by permission with the city of Jackson. Their sign-ups are going on now for the summer, and we're telling you about it because the deadline is this Sunday.
Oh, wow.
And it's supposed to be all online. That's how you do it. They may extend it or whatever, but for right now, has to be done no later than this Sunday. There is a link on the Big Red Diamond Club Facebook page, and this is for age categories for Youth League Baseball, Youth League Softball, and then the T-ball.
So if you want to get your kids into playing baseball or softball this summer, you need to get signed up by Sunday.
Right, by Sunday, and we do.
You need to plan ahead.
We do. We will have that in the paper, and it's already online as well, and we're going to have it on the radio as well. So this is the time to.
Oh, yeah. Well,
this is the time to sign up. They need to get ready for the season and so forth. That can slip by you a little bit. They used to have in-person sign-up sessions, but they haven't done that the last year or two. So you need to get you need to sign up or get somebody to help you sign up online.
Well, I know people are always asking about activities for the kids, and this would be one of them that's available locally. So get your kids into sports. We all know that helps with their academics and their socialization and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
the
It's all good for them.
socialization is
Yeah.
a big thing. You get to meet other kids, and you kind of learn, the value of being on a team,
Yes,
whatever
very
it
much
is.
so. You learn leadership skills. It's not all about kinetics and moving your body. It's about your whole self.
Exactly.
Kids in sports. So.
Okay, and also I think this is a reminder to piggyback on Joe Finch's visit here. The off-trail waterfall hike will be at Lake Catherine this Sunday, and I tell you what, Lake Catherine is such a beautiful place. I know you live close to there, Sheryl.
I am very, very lucky to live basically in the nature preserve.
Right.
It kind of surrounds our property. So yes, we are very lucky to be in the Lake
Right,
Catherine
and
area.
those trails are there, but it is so nice to have
So-
somebody with
Oh, yeah.
knowledge to take you on a guided hike. And in this case, I think off the trail.
Yes.
It's an off-trail waterfall hike, and
Which
so
you can only do
I mean,
with
I'd
a
love
guide.
to do that myself if I can
Yeah.
work it in. But it's this Sunday, and it will be starting at 1 p.m. and you should meet at the Dairy Orman Lodge, which is off Rock Run Road, I believe.
Yes.
And so that's where you want to meet, not over on the Beaver Pike side where some of the other trails start. So you'll get to go to Graveyard Lookout and Joy Falls. It's free, but there is some cost involved. They would like you to give a $10 donation if you're able and willing.
And make sure that you wear good shoes because it is going to be slippery out there.
It's bound to be.
I can attest to the fact that we are still very muddy and a little bit icy out there. And so make sure you wear good shoes because you don't want to slip and fall or especially up at the lookout. You do not want to slip and fall and find yourself all the way down at Lake Catherine.
I remember when I saw that for the first time, I thought it was awe-inspiring, that look down over the cliff to where the cemetery is.
If you've never been up there, it is an absolutely gorgeous vista, but you do want to be careful up in that area because it's a pretty far drop down there.
Yeah,
you don't want to fall.
I wouldn't want to take the chance. Yeah, if
I don't go all the way out
this
to the
were
edge.
along the main highway, it would be a scenic pull-off.
Yes.
So it's that kind of view.
Yes, you don't want to get all the way up to the edge, and you can see it's absolutely beautiful. The vista that you get of the Lake Catherine area, no matter the season, whether we're in winter right now, in the middle of summer, in fall, it doesn't make a difference. It is an absolutely beautiful vista, and all 4 seasons you get a totally different look because of what's blooming and what's around. It's absolutely gorgeous.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and you couldn't be going up with a better person than Joe Finch. Honestly, you're going to get the history, you're going to get a lot of nature talk and stuff like that. So.
Absolutely, it'd be well worth it.
Yes.
Well worth it.
Yes, and there's a cool little cemetery up there too, with some really old tombstones and. It's just a kind of a neat area, and if you've never been out to Dairy Orman, that's a fun place too. So they've done a lot of stuff. So
go Ironman, go Rockets!
There you go. I mean, 2 of our local teams are headed to the Convo today and Monday, so you've got 2 teams to cheer on, and way to go, especially the Golden Rockets. I mean, it's been 23 years. Congratulations on getting yourselves to that next level. We wish you the best of luck, and go Ironman tonight. I mean, you've split with the Cavaliers. We can do it one more time and take it on to the next game. So. Really, really proud of them, and that will give them their 21st win, and that's what we're rooting for.
Exactly.
So tune in tonight on WKOV. If you miss it, you can watch it on YouTube after the fact, and it will be there in perpetuity, so you can watch it anytime. So if you want to watch it over the weekend, you can watch it over the weekend. Let your friends and family know. It's all free because all of our live streams are free. So there you go. So thank you, Pete.
Thank you, Sheryl, for sitting in for Jennifer.
Yep,
I know she appreciates that.
She should be back on Monday, and just in time for it to be cold again, and which seems kind of fair play because she's getting some warmth right now. So you guys have a good weekend. Hopefully we have some clear skies this weekend. I know we're expecting some flurries early next week, but hopefully we can get a couple of good days out of it so that we can get some stuff done and enjoy the outdoors.
Yeah,
So,
definitely warmer today and tomorrow. That'd be nice.
Thankfully. So have a great weekend, and we will see you right back here Monday morning on Main Street TV. Bye.